Today, we have the director of growth at eToro, one of the co-founders of the GoodDollar protocol, an eToro affiliate, which is a protocol attempting to bring universal basic income to those in need by using the blockchain. Now, I have a lot of questions about this, and I know our guests can help answer those. So please welcome Anna Stone to the show. Anna, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, Zaid. Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about universal basic income. I feel like this was a hot topic for a few years. It's still a very polarizing concept, but just to get people informed, can you tell people that are not familiar with universal basic income on what it is and why you think it's needed?
Sure. So, first and foremost, universal basic income is a political concept or philosophy actually behind uh, giving people enough income, irregardless of their status of work or who they are. Right. So this is a concept that anyone, just by nature of being a human being alive in this world, deserves to have some baseline funds to stand on and to have as their baseline economic security. I believe in the United States, the concept of UBI really became popular in 2020 with Andrew Yang popularized this concept of $1,000 a month for each American. But there's many, UBI is a long-standing idea that's been around since, for thousands and thousands of years. There's been many pilots done in rich countries and poor countries and different populations. And at the end of the day, all of the studies and pilots tend to point to the same result, which is that when you reduce the financial insecurity of people worrying about having basic money for food or for healthcare, they have better outcomes, right? They lead happier lives, they have better health outcomes, they tend to pursue education or their entrepreneurial dreams, what the case may be. And UBI is as much a philosophy around the type of society or economy we want to create as it is a practical program.
Yeah, that's a very good explanation. So how does UBI work under the GoodDollar protocol? And why do you think that this is a solution to implement UBI?
I think to create a good foil for this is actually to think of some of the challenges that would happen in terms of a government issued UBI, right?
Yes.
And we won't spend our interview today talking about the challenges with government in approving new policy, let alone policy that's focused on innovation, money, technology. But the idea behind GoodDollar or any sort of crypto UBI is actually how can we take advantage of the trends in technology, which is that every single person has a cell phone, even though many of the billions of people that have smartphones or cell phones are still what we would consider to be unbanked or underbanked, right? So those terms refer to people who are not served by traditional financial services, credit, savings, credit cards, access to mortgages, etc., right? So even though we know that there are, I think the numbers are over 4 billion people in the world have smartphones or cell phones, there's a big intersection between people who have smartphones and cell phones, but yet are still underserved by traditional financial services. And so the idea behind crypto UBI is actually how can we take advantage of the fact that people have these amazing devices in their pockets, right? They have the cell phones in their pockets, and that in the crypto world, when the Web3 world, that in and of itself gives you the technology that you need to have a blockchain wallet, to have a true on-chain wallet. And so if you have a cell phone, you can have your own crypto wallet, right? And therefore that means you have the ability to receive some sort of crypto UBI, right? So that's the philosophy behind it, which is actually how can we connect the dots between the fact that most people who are unbanked or underbanked have smartphones. If you have a smartphone, that means that you have access to create an on-chain blockchain wallet. In fact, it's your right to create one of those wallets, right? And now with this technology, we're able to, through that infrastructure, this means that now actually delivering a universal basic income system at scale is possible and feasible.
So what are some barriers that we have to lower to get people onto crypto? Because a lot of people that I know, because my parents are from Pakistan, yeah, I just go, and whenever I go there or talk to people there, they have like, whether it's a local bank or whatever app on their phone, they transfer money using that. What do we need to do to get those people, the same people, to then adopt crypto and be okay and comfortable with accepting crypto as a payment? Is it just a matter of there's just not a good infrastructure or any good use case for it right now for them? Like, how do we get those people to adopt crypto?
So, I mean, I think it's a great example, which is that if your parents were now to want to get into crypto, they actually will have to go through, I wouldn't say a difficult process, but certainly not a simple process of actually uh, finding a local exchange, going through a traditional KYC AML process, and most importantly, they need to have an amount of funds that they are willing to lose to begin to experiment and to learn with. And actually, GoodDollar is designed to bridge that gap between the people who are most in need of the financial innovation offered by blockchain and the fact that it's hard, scary to onboard into crypto. And you don't know, and most people who are most in need of the technology don't have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that they can just begin to experiment away with. So the whole idea behind the GoodDollar protocol is first and foremost, how do we make it super simple for you to onboard, right? So how can we make it so that anyone who has a Facebook account or a Google account is able to really easily create a blockchain wallet? That's the first step. The second step there is how can using that mechanism to actually begin to airdrop money into those wallets every single day.
Yes.
And we can talk about the economic model that funds that. But third of all, then you end up with a situation where people who are most in need of the power of blockchain technology actually have real free crypto in an on-chain wallet that they can begin to use to experiment with and learn how to use crypto, right? And so in and of itself, GoodDollar is not just a UBI approach, but it's also it's a financial education protocol as well, which is designed to enable any person to be able to learn by doing and be able to have crypto, send it, use it for crowdfunding, use it to begin to experiment in DeFi. We have all sorts of people who are raising money for good causes and GoodDollars. And, if you want to bring people into this, you need to actually reduce the barriers to entry and the expenses of learning.
I 100% agree, right? Reducing the barriers to entry, because even right now, crypto is great. I've been involved with it for a few years now, but it still feels somewhat very technical and nerdy and like scary, because you're just so worried that you're going to make a mistake and lose all your funds and stuff. So I think this is a good approach to getting more people educated, and doing it this way is good. I guess I'll wrap up with this. I think you touched on this briefly earlier, but can you tell us like why this is a better implementation solution of UBI versus a government implementation solution of UBI? Because right now that's how it's traditionally been done, right? Whether it's a city, local government, or national government. Why is this better?
So I think first and foremost, this is something that live exists. It's a protocol that is delivering real money to hundreds of thousands of people a day that actually exists, right? It's not an idea, it's not a concept. Because of technology and the ability to do things in a decentralized manner, we're able to actually push something into existence that live is working. And that's the first thing, is that we don't have to wait. I think second of all, what's really important is that GoodDollar is inherently global, right? So we're focused off of actually connecting the world through one common system, and it's also designed to be governed by its members. So if you're a community member to GoodDollar, if you're claiming GoodDollar UBI, that means that we want you to have a right in its future and what happens with the future of the currency. This is referred to often in Web3 as decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs, right? These different groups of governing bodies that actually come together to determine what should the future of our currency ecosystem be, right? For a system like GoodDollar, we believe that fundamentally it should be community driven and community run and community powered, and not in the hands of a private company. So there are also a number of There are other experiments out there. WorldCoin is one of them that's gotten a lot of attention, which is, a private enterprise that's funding UBI. But at its heart, we think that this is a social impact or a mission-driven activity, and it shouldn't be in the hands of a private company that's looking to extract profits from this effort, but rather should be community-led, community-governed, and community-owned.
I love that. I love that. Are you nervous at all with like some of the DeFi scares that we've gotten recently, that maybe people would be hesitant to do this, or even people that need this, they're just nervous because of all the bad press that DeFi has gotten lately?
So I think the longer you've been working in DeFi, the less I'd say the least shaken you are by the recent collapse in the market and collapse of some projects. That's the first thing I would say. Second of all, I would say that this will probably usher in a much needed conversation around how do we make DeFi as an industry more financially sustainable. And this is a conversation, a reckoning that needs to happen in order for DeFi to actually serve more people, right? Which is that, and I think about this a lot, which is because GoodDollar is actually designed in antithesis to the rest of the DeFi industry, the DeFi market. We're the anti-pump and dump. It's the anti-crazy APY. It's actually based off of how do you build a sustainable system that delivers money to people that they're able to use. In order for people to trust that the money is something that they can use, no one wants to be the guy with the Bitcoin and the 10,000 pizzas, right? Which means that you need to develop an economy that's designed to create circulation, designed to create commerce amongst its members, while also, let's say, creating that financial incentive that everyone loves about crypto, which is making money, right?
Yep.
But to do it, excuse me, within a more responsible, sustainable context. And so every bear market, every shakeout is good for builders, and it's for a reason, because it allows for you that opportunity to look at what you're doing, really assess, is this solving a problem?
Yep.
And if so, double down on the problem that you're solving.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in every day. Also hit that like, subscribe, and notification buttons. We'll see you tomorrow.